You know, we do have this supply chain issue that has been a problem for a while now. In fact,
yes,
microchips is a real issue. You can look at any car dealer and realize that they lack microchips to get cars shipped, and that's why there aren't very many cars on the lot. 12% of all chips made here in America, and the questions are, you know, about the supply chain and about microchips especially. These are necessary things. What do we do to solve this problem? And there could be a silver lining, I suppose, in all of this. James Crean joins us. He is the president of Crean, which is a Texas-based innovation company. James, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, happy to be here.
The silver lining I'm hoping for is that perhaps we've recognized that now, because the supply chain does seem to be fragile, that perhaps we could fire up some of our own factories and bring some of our manufacturing back here to the U.S.
Well, yeah, we've definitely been working with companies for a while and doing that, and what we're seeing is a big, a big resurgence, a big push now, and you know, on the microchip front, I mean, Texas is going to be a big beneficiary in that front because Samsung's building a plant in the Austin area. Micron is looking at various places in Texas to build a memory chip fab, and then Intel's investing a whole ton of money in fabs in Arizona. So there is, there's hope there, but it's going to take a while. It takes a couple of years, and whatever, a few $1 billion of pocket change to build those facilities. So it could be all of this year before we get through some of the issues with the supply chain and cars and chips.
Well, I was going to ask you a time frame of some sort, because we have a shortage of microchips all the way up to vanilla wafers on the grocery store shelves. What kind of time frame do you think we get back to normal?
Well, okay. I think it's going to be.
Is that a fair question? Yes.
It's a fair question. I mean, it's difficult in some ways, but the policies that we're getting out of the federal government aren't helping right now. A ton of people are out sick, as we all know. I'm sure all of our friends are and our family are experiencing this. And this is a prime example of how supply chains work, right? So, the Biden administration decides right before the beginning of this push, or this huge surge in Omicron, that they're going to go and place an order for 500 million tests. Well, what does that do? That shuts down the ability of those companies to deliver to, your local CVS. And so nobody had tests for the longest time. It's almost impossible to find tests. And, and now the surge is starting to abate. So the time when we needed the tests, and I was able to find them in my local grocery store and whatnot, they weren't available. So these are the kinds of things. You get these surges back and forth in various different parts of the supply chain. Certain shortages cause a ripple effect. In this case, the ripple effect was lots of people out of work because they couldn't test and proactively. So,
James, let me jump in real quick. I have about 40 seconds left, but I wanted to ask you, you were talking about microchips a moment ago. China invades Taiwan, or China creates a military issue with Taiwan. They are one of the biggest and most advanced chip makers on the planet. That's another great reason why we need to get things up and running here.
Yeah, absolutely. Taiwan Semiconductor is one of the largest chip manufacturers in the world, and we're definitely very dependent upon them. And so it's strategically critically important. It's a national security issue across the board. Manufacturing in the United States is a national security issue as much as it is a patriotic issue. So
James Crean is with us. He is the president of Crean, a Texas-based innovation company that accelerates product delivery through integrated engineering and smart manufacturing and supply chain analysis. James, thank you so much for coming on WBAP. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.